What is up, y'all? Double T here, back with another video. Thank you guys for checking this one out. And this is just kind of a straight up review of, as you guys can see from the title, Resistance: Fall of Man. Now, I played this game for the first time, just beat it this past weekend, and I absolutely love the game. I thought it was a great game. You know, it has that classic, let's see, this game came out, I believe it was '06. Yeah, 2006. So this game came out almost 2 decades ago, which is pretty insane to say because I remember when this game came out. But I never had a PS3 growing up. I grew up with an Xbox 360, so I didn't get to play the Resistance series, didn't get to play the Killzone series. So just now finally getting back to those since I just got a PS3 recently. But wanted to talk about this game because I do think that it is a really good game, and it is a gem on the PS3, and it's still stuck on the PlayStation 3 as well. There is no other way to play this game except for PlayStation 3. Now, it definitely has that early 2000s aesthetic, I guess you could say, where everything is pretty much like dull gray. There's like a lot of dark colors, blacks, grays, beige. Similar to Gears of War. You guys that grew up with this era and have played many games in this era, especially shooters, know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to that aesthetic where it's just gray. That doesn't necessarily make it a bad thing, though. It actually just adds to what the game is trying to do. And think about like reminding yourself of like World War I, World War II vibes as far as time frame goes. But you're fighting, like other extraterrestrial life, I guess you could say. However you want to say that, monsters, whatever, aliens, however you want to put it, but similar to a lot of other games like your Gears of War. I don't know why Gears of War keeps popping in my head to compare to because it's similar in a way, I guess. But it's more first-person shooter instead of third-person shooter, obviously. But this game actually had a great story. It had great cutscenes. The combat was pretty fun. And you do have a little bit of variety when it comes to weaponry in the game. You have your basic like machine guns and military type of rifles, and then you also have guns that aren't real, like think of Halo, for instance. This game kind of also can remind me of Halo, although Halo's way more colorful. But as far as like, think of like the Needler in Halo. If you guys know, you know. Something stuff like that. It has guns that shoot lasers and things like that. That aren't real guns, but it is a very cool game. You're going through and you're basically fighting against this resistance. So the Chimera is basically like that is the alien species that you're fighting, the Chimera, that's what it's called. And it's actually people that have transformed into this other life form. So really cool story. There's a lot that goes into this game, actually. There's certain, files you can find throughout the game that tells you a little bit more about the history of how things happened in certain areas, and just little stories, if that makes sense. So those are always cool to read and fun to find and stuff like that. But Insomniac, of course, developed this game, and Insomniac really doesn't miss. Great developer, and they didn't miss here either. Now, I've only played the first one, so I can't say anything about 2 and 3. Although I do, after playing the first one fully through, I do plan to play 2 and 3 as well. But I'm curious, what are your thoughts on Resistance: Fall of Man? To be honest, I think it's a great game. I think that a lot of people might have missed this one, or maybe didn't even finish it. There is quite a few missions. There's like 30 missions. Some of them are longer than others. Some of them are quite short, actually. You can, they're like 10, 15-minute missions. And then some of them are longer, 30, 45-minute missions. But overall, it's very fun. There will be some times that, it is a tad bit clunky, but it has that's just the era of the 7th gen console where a lot of the combat was a little bit clunky, especially compared to maybe what you might be used to nowadays, which is like super smooth. combat, at least for a lot of games. But it has that charm, and I don't think that it is missed. I think that is a great game. I think that if you haven't played it, you definitely should play it. And I'm really happy. And it's one Resistance is one of those series that I've been waiting to play for a while, and I finally got my PS3 at the end of last year in 2024. And I picked up Resistance, Fall of Man pretty much immediately. There is some other games I want to play, of course, Killzone, Infamous, things like that. But Resistance is one of those series that I've been dying to get to, and now I finally know what it's really about. And it's really fun, and it definitely did not disappoint. So that is my short little review and take, I guess you could say, on the game. It's not going to be a full-fledged, in-depth review that's like 20 or 30 minutes long, anything like that. But we just wanted to give you my thoughts after playing this game and my honest opinion on it. And I'm curious to know what yours is, like I said. Would love to start a conversation with you guys in the comments. I didn't write anything down, so this is straight off the dome, so forgive me if I've been either repetitive or a little bit scatterbrained. But like I said, this is just going straight off the dome, directly my thoughts on the game. I talked about the story, I talked about the environments. I do think that the bosses are pretty cool in this game. I guess you could say bosses, but like there's some of them are machines that you're fighting against and trying to destroy towards the end of certain missions. I thought it was cool. There wasn't like any that were super hard or that I really got stuck on, which is fine. I enjoyed that part, that I was able to, go through the game, play it without really struggling or anything like that. But it's just a great time. Great story. It's a fun little game to play, and I do think you should play it all the way through. There's one thing I guess you could say, sometimes it feels a bit repetitive, with just like more waves of enemies coming at you throughout the levels, when you think like, all right, this level could be done by now. But other than that, I still think the pacing's pretty good in this game, and that overall, like I said, it's a gem. You should definitely check it out. I do wish that I had played it back in the day when the multiplayer was active, because there is a multiplayer on this game. And I'm looking at the cover right now, and it says online gaming for up to 40 players. So I could just imagine that those lobbies were probably pretty fun to play back in the day and pretty cool to experience. So a little bummed I won't be able to experience that, along with a lot of these games from this generation that are just completely dead nowadays. But anyways, that is my little short take on Resistance Fall of Man. Definitely let me know what your thoughts are on it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned to the channel if you guys do like review content, if you like game collecting content, if you like posting gameplays, things like that. If you're into anything gaming related, and I also play some retro stuff as well, so definitely take a look at the channel and see if there might be anything that interests you there. But anyways, thank you guys for checking this one out. Appreciate y'all for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.